24 Sports presents Sports Final.
Good evening, I'm Ned Smith, and welcome to another edition of Sunday Sports Final. Well, for the second year in a row since the Chicago Bears won Super Bowl 20, the Washington Redskins have kept them from advancing to the NFC Championship game. Today at Soldier Field in Chicago, in sub-zero temperatures, the Redskins rallied from a 14-0 deficit to pull off the upset of the heavily favored Bears. Bears scored 2 touchdowns in the first 22 minutes, the second coming when quarterback Jim McMahon catches the Redskins in a blitz and hits Ron Morris on a slant pattern from 14 yards out. But just before halftime, the Redskins would manage to tie it up. The Bears showing blitz, Doug Williams reads it and hits his tight end, Clint Didier. 18 yards later, it's 14-all. But this is the play of the game. Darrell Green, inserted as a kick returner for the playoffs, takes this punt at his 48, starts up the right sideline, leapfrogs Cap Boso, then cuts across the field. Goodbye. A 52-yard punt return gives Washington a 21-14 advantage. Chicago would add a field goal, but Washington's defense was simply awesome today, sacking McMahon 5 times and swiping 3 of his passes. Bears running back Walter Payton rushed for a season-high 85 yards on 15 carries. But those would be his last in the NFL as he bows out after 13 seasons as Washington defeats Chicago 24-17.
Win, son, especially in a case like today against a team like Chicago Bears at their home field. When you come out on top and they got their great leader back in Patton and you come out on top, it's got to be a great feeling.
We just are not good enough right now with the people we have or the way we're playing, so something's got to be changed. And we'll all evaluate ourselves, coaches and players, and I think that's where you go.
We didn't play perfect football, but we had a chance to win, and we drove the football down the field, and I threw the ball right to the guy's chest, and that was the ball game.
Well, meanwhile, in the AFC playoffs, the Houston Oilers turned in a dismal effort today against the Broncos at Mile High Stadium. Houston's first mistake came in the first quarter deep in its own territory. Warren Moon's lateral pass is dropped by Mike Rozier, and Steve Wilson recovers for the Broncos, setting up Denver's first touchdown. Later in the first, an Oilers drive is halted as Moon is picked off by Carl Mecklenburg. That sets up this 27-yard pass from John Elway to Clarence Kay, making it 14-0, and the rout was on. In the second quarter, the same connection works again for Denver as Elway finds Kay in the end zone. It was 24-3 at halftime. Houston tries to get back into it in the second half, but kept getting turned away. Here, Moon is intercepted in the end zone by Mike Haynes, who returns it 60 yards, ending another Oiler threat. Who tackles him? Alonzo Highsmith. Watch this play by the ex-Hurricane Highsmith. He catches the pass from Moon, but runs in the wrong direction. That's a no-no, Alonzo. A 13-yard loss, and it all adds up to a 34-10 win for Denver. So here are next week's championship game matchups. In the NFC, Washington will host Minnesota, with the Redskins currently favored by 4 points. And in the AFC, the Broncos will host Cleveland, with Denver listed as an early 3-point favorite. When we return on Sunday Sports Final, we'll shift over to college basketball with highlights from today's Georgetown-DePaul showdown. Stay right there.
You hear the thunder, the call of the road. No time to wonder, you gotta go. You feel excitement, riding Pontiac.
Grand Am's sticker priced from as little as $10,610.
Pontiac ride, drive, Pontiac drive, Pontiac ride.
Get to your Pontiac dealer now.
Excitement, Pontiac ride.
When it comes to fresh seafood, you gotta have a nose for the business. You gotta keep things jumping, or it's a rotten day. You gotta know what it takes to land the big orders. You can't be content to ride the waves. It's a whale of a job. You gotta take it to the limit. You can't afford to let your customer get away. This reminder from Federal Express that it's not just a package, it's your business.
Well, I've been saving my money because my husband and I, he's still working, and one of these days he's going to retire, and we would like to travel a little bit. He wants to take me to Mexico City, and he wants to take me to Cancun, but I want to go to New York.
At Savings of America, we take very good care of Carmen Cortez's money, and about 1 million other people's as well.
Well, I would like to see Miss Liberty and get up way up on her crown and look from there. This is my country.
4x4 that'll shift the balance of power in the truck world. Toyota's all-new V6 4x4, the most advanced V6 engine in any compact truck. Unsurpassed horsepower, more low-down torque than any compact V6 4x4. New V6, now who's looking out for number one?
Toyota.
Who could ask for anything more?
Welcome back to Sunday Sports Final. The schedule makers had only one top 20 college basketball team in action this afternoon. That was 14th ranked Georgetown on the road against DePaul. The Hoyas in the dark jerseys were deadly from three-point range today, hitting 7 from beyond the stripe. This one from Charles Smith helps Georgetown to the early lead. DePaul would fall behind 30-27 at halftime and kept it close for a while as Kevin Edwards answers back with his own three-pointer. Edwards had 17 points in the second half, finished with 21. But Perry McDonald made sure it wouldn't be any closer at the end. He slams one with authority for 2 of his 16 points. Georgetown improves to 11-1 on the year, beating DePaul 74-64. Just 2 games on today's NBA schedule. Milwaukee handed New Jersey its 13th consecutive road defeat, 105-87. Seattle's in front of Sacramento by 3, 98-95 in the fourth. Well, Lenny Clemens went from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs in the space of 2 holes today at the Spalding International Golf Tournament in California. Clemens could have won the tournament here on the 18th, but missed this makeable birdie putt to fall into a sudden death playoff with Ken Green, Tim Norris, and Dan Pohl. But on the first hole of the playoff, Clemens rebounds to sink this long putt for a birdie and the victory. It was Clemens' first ever tournament win and worth $50,000. Well, it's already Monday down under in Australia, where the Australian Open Tennis Championships got underway a few hours ago. One upset's already been recorded as 14-seeded Diane Balistrand of Australia lost to Wendy Wood of the United States. Number 1 men's seed Yvonne Lindell will play his first round match a little later on. Onto the ice tonight, the Buffalo Sabres in white jump out to a 3-1 lead over the visiting New York Rangers as Mike Ramsey gets the puck past Bob Froese. The Rangers come right back to tie it up at 3-all in the third period. James Patrick with the nice feed to Walt Podubny, who will score. But Buffalo would go on to win their 5th game in a row as Christian Ruutu scores with 1 flip of the wrist. That makes the final, Buffalo winning 4-3. There you see the Sabres-Rangers score. Philadelphia loses to New Jersey. Detroit beats Pittsburgh 7-5. Calgary whips Washington 8-2. Winnipeg outskates Toronto 4-3. Chicago's in front of LA 4-2 in the third. Over 11,000 fans turned out at Gulfstream Park today to see the upset in the featured First Lady Handicap. Number 5, Fun and Strata, came from behind down the stretch to post a 1-length victory over number 3, Easter Mary, with favored Catalacing third. Fun and Strata paid $7.80 for the win. And finally tonight, NCAA Executive Director Dick Schultz said sworn affidavits will soon be required of college athletes saying they haven't signed with agents. Schultz says the step will be taken just prior to the NCAA basketball tournament in March. And if any athletes lie on the affidavits, well, both the agent and the athlete could be sued. That's going to do it for this edition of Sunday Sports Final. I'll see you again next week. So until then, good night.